So wavelength, we usually can measure from distance from peak to peak in the space dimension. That is, we can be measured a wavelength by measuring the distance from peak to peak to peak, any two consecutive crust. So one complete oscillation means it is actually is the one crust and one trough. So one complete oscillation means it is one crust and one trough. Okay, so if you look at it here, if you write it in a wave motion, this is the one oscillation. A simple oscillation we can represent with one crust and one trough, and this is one complete oscillation. So wavelength means either you can measure from here to here till here, one oscillation is completing. Otherwise, we can also measure, suppose the same oscillation started moving, now it reaches up to this position. Then you can measure from here to here. That is peak of the first vibration to peak of the second vibration. So this and this both the distance are equal. Not only that, we can also measure from peak to peak of the trough also. Peak to peak trough also, because all these distances are same and all these are indicate the wavelength. So wavelength is the distance traveled by one complete vibration or one complete oscillation or one complete wave. We also can measure wavelength between the two consecutive crusts from the mean position, that means from the maximum displacement position of the two crust or two troughs. So three ways you can measure it. So that is the word distance from peak to peak in the space dimension. That's the meaning of peak to peak in the space dimension. Okay, so that is how we can measure the wavelength. Next, we are moving on to time period. That is already you know it, because many times we repeatedly said that time period. When we talk about rotational motion also, same time is come. It is the time taken in seconds, or the time taken in seconds to complete one complete cycle. One complete cycle means one complete wave to travel, how much time it is taken. So that is time period. So time period is the time taken in seconds. That means in 1 second to complete one complete cycle. So if you represent this, so this is the one complete wave. One crust and one trough is the one complete wave. So for this complete wave to travel in 1 second, how much is the time taken? So that is known as time period. And this also we can measure from peak to peak in the time dimension, peak to peak. So that means the same wave from this peak to here, up to here. Suppose this is representing the time. This x-axis representing the time. Then for this complete wavelength, suppose it is completing in 1 second. Suppose this is completing in 1 second. Then you can say that the time period is 2 or something like that. 2 meters, 0.1 second. So that. So in 1 second, one complete wave. Okay. So that is not about the time period. And one oscillation complete when the system is back in its initial state. Initial state means from the mean position. So it started from the stationary position and it goes to one side and come back to go to the mean position, then go to other side and come back to the mean position. That is the time one complete wave, what I explained. And frequency already you have discussed. You have already told me what is frequency. It is the number of oscillations per second. Number of oscillation per second, unit is hertz. Time period second, amplitude meter, wavelength also meter, because it is the distance, no? So amplitude, wavelength, you have the SI unit is meter. Then the frequency SI unit is hertz. Hertz or second minus 1. Why? I have already told you. Frequency is equal to reciprocal of what? Do you remember? Rotational motion. Frequency is the reciprocal of which quantity? Anyone remember that what we have learned? Frequency is the
Time
reciprocal.
period.
Ah, yes, that's one. So you see all these terms are how many times repeated in 1 year, correct? From the first volume to second volume, these terms are repeated. So that means for your higher studies also, these 5 terms: displacement, amplitude, wavelength, time period, frequency. All these are should not forget, because we will be repeatedly saying these things in any time. Why? All the physical quantities are time bound. Time bound means all the physical quantities in the practical world, they can change. Okay, they are bound to the time. Maybe one or two quantities only, not depending on the time, but all others are depending. When electromagnetic waves, light is time bound, electricity time bound. That is why we are finding current is equal to charge flow in unit time. So everything is time bound. So in all the branches of physical quantities, all these 5 quantities comes. Okay, that is the key terms. Next term, so frequency over. Next term, we are moving on to, in the case of a circular motion, we come to know another word, angular displacement. So angular displacement means, suppose this is a circular path and there's a particle P, and this is the initial point, and this particle started rotating in anti-clockwise direction. It come to a point Q, and this both can make an angle theta. So this is, we have completed all that. So aside, next the term is, next term what we are going to discuss related to oscillation is angular displacement. So you can write it down. Next term, angular displacement. So angular displacement, you know, the distance traveled by a particle in a particular angle. So you don't have to repeat, right? Just write this expression only. This expression, and we always represent the oscillation as a sinusoidal wave or sine wave. Sinusoidal or sine wave. So we can represent this is as sinusoidal, or we can sine wave. So sine and wave, cos, you know, it's very important. This, your maths also you have studied trigonometric function. I remember your ma'am was asking you to cos 2 theta and all in the last class, why the revision was something was going on and all that. So see, cos 2 theta, then sine 2 theta, all these are important for physics also. So we are representing the oscillation. You can represent both ways. One is in sine, and we can also represent cosines. Okay. So first we will learn, usually we consider the oscillation as a sine wave. Why? Because sine wave has a period of 2 pi radians. It is in radians, and I think you have studied the relation between radius and degree. The ma'am must have taught you now. So time period t seconds. Therefore, a sine wave has a period of 2 pi radians and a time period of t seconds. Therefore, we can represent angular displacement 2 pi capital T into t. This is time period. This is in 1 second how much. Next term is angular frequency. Angular frequency omega. I think this is all you have learned. Just you write it down. Angular frequency omega is equal to 2 pi. This relation we require. This relation is important. Theta 2 pi by t. So this relation you just write down. No need of definition, because we have already completed all that. Omega is equal to 2 pi by t, and it is also is equal to 2 pi f, because f is equal to 1 by t. That is why that relation. So if you multiply 2 pi radian with the time period, you will get angular frequency. And angular displacement 2 pi by t into t. That means you can also write it, that angle, in terms of omega t. Okay. First theta angular displacement, it was written to theta is 2 pi by t. Next one you have learned angular frequency is equal to 2 pi by t. Therefore, In a sine wave, I mean to say in a wave, the angle at which angle the particle is oscillating is omega t. Theta is equal to omega into t. Angular frequency into time. Time second. That's it. So that is angular frequency. Now these are the important. What are the properties of a sinusoidal waves? So why we consider as a wave or oscillation is a sinusoidal wave? Because these are the properties. You should learn this. It has an amplitude of 1. It has a period of 2 pi radians. It has an initial displacement of 0. Thus, the displacement in terms of sine wave, the displacement of the particle, the maximum displacement, we represent x is equal to sine theta. It is equal to sine theta. Suppose the theta is 30 degree, displacement sine 30, sine 40, like that it goes on. So we can represent the displacement of sine wave x is equal to sine theta. Suppose it's a cosine wave, it will be cos theta, but it will be minus, not positive. If it is cos theta, x going to be minus. So please write down these 3 points, very important. It has an amplitude of 1. It has a period of 2 pi radians, that is 360 degree. It has an initial displacement of 0. So it is too much related to our trigonometry in maths. You can draw this diagram also, and that different angles, that is at 90 degree, pi by 2, then pi, because this is the same sine wave, we are going to take it in +2 alternating current. When you learn the same graph, we are going to use there. So that is what, because current also is an electromagnetic wave. So please draw this, because in your textbook there's a lot of pictures are given. What is important only I will teach you. So for the exam point of view, what I am discussing only you will learn. Okay, because it's a vast topic, we cannot take it long, cannot learn much detail. So here only top the basic only we will be learning. Other this and all things are going to higher studies. Okay, can I change? So that's about the, yeah, okay, sinusoidal wave. Please copy down that angle and how we can write. Now we can also represent, I told you, we can also represent the wave motion in terms of cos theta. Okay, so in terms of cos theta, a cosine wave is identical to a sine wave, excepting that it has an initial displacement +1. So this is the difference between sine wave and cosine wave. Cosine wave is starting from later. It is already 0 is starting on negative axis. Here the first one, it is a first period, and the first displacement you can measure from +1. That's why. What is the difference between cosine oscillation? Cosine wave is identical to a sine wave, excepting that it has an initial displacement of +1. It can be said that a cosine wave is a sine wave with a phase difference phi. Phase difference phi of minus pi by 2. This changing of angle at a particular time is known as phase difference. So this is also another important term, phase difference. Phase means at a particular angle pi by 2, what is the position of the oscillating particle at the time of pi or the time of t. In terms of time period also you can represent. Okay, so that is known as phase difference. So phase difference actually indicating these pi values, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi. So at t by 2, what is the phase difference means? You have to write the pi values. At t by 4, that is one fourth part of a full time period. What is the phase difference? You have to write this angles only, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi, like that. And x is equal to cos theta. How x is equal to cos, because in the previous one you have learned x is equal to sine theta. Simply we cannot say x is equal to cos theta. We have to find out the relation between sine. So from that you have learned sine theta minus pi by 2, that is 90 degree. Yeah, sine theta minus 90 degree. You have learned trigonometry identities, it is equal to cos theta. So don't forget in +1 all the trigonometric identities and equation expression you have to by heart. 180 degree plus theta, 90 minus theta, 90 plus theta. All that is important for our physics. So this is how we represent the sine wave. So this red one, the black signal, that is sine wave, and the red signal what it is showed, that is cosine wave. So cosine wave is little more ahead of sine wave. That means sine wave here is the 0, but already cosine is already started in the second quadrant if you represent in a graph. So that's it. Now, so because of this wave function, we represent the wave function in terms of, yes.
Ma'am, in the cosine wave, should we draw that?
Yeah, that is only for your knowing. So just what
Okay.
is the difference between sine wave and cosine wave? Then only know you will understand this one, sine theta minus pi by 2. How it become cos theta, looking at the phase difference of this one. It's not given in your book, but it is sometimes you will be wondering if you go through the book, especially this oscillation chapter, a little bit confusing you. If you go to the NCRT, they have just taken the summary from different books and from the net and all. I have given you a note. Otherwise, if you look at the book, certain things from NCRT itself, but the beginning stage of this waves and all, sometimes it is very confusing. Sometimes they are writing in cos theta, sometimes it is writing in the sin theta. So you will be wondering which is correct or which is wrong like that. No, so that's why I'm telling. Both we can represent sin theta like that. We represent like that, and displacement going to become cos theta only. Why? Because sine theta minus pi by 2, that is equal to cos theta. Okay, so this is basic. Once you okay with the basic, remaining portion is going to be easy for you. Now we are moving on to next one. What do you mean by oscillating systems? Oscillating systems. So these are general keywords. So if you say simple pendulum is an oscillator, so oscillating system means the particles or materials which exhibit oscillation, we call it as an oscillator. Okay, and those who exhibit simple harmonic oscillations, we call it as simple harmonic oscillator. So those who the material or particle which exhibit simple harmonic oscillations, then we call it is known as simple harmonic oscillator. Otherwise, any material or any instrument which exhibit oscillation, we call it as a oscillator. So in our computer, we are using an oscillator in order to give a modified signals, electrical signals. So for that also there is a section we call it as oscillator. So that's a part of digital electronics. So that is based on it. And how can you say an oscillating system? A system which obeys this equation, that is x is equal to x0 sine omega t plus phi. So we use this phi here since it is in your book. It is given phi, initial phase. The phase is given as phi. So you can change that. Now what is x0? X0 actually equal to amplitude A. So after writing this, you can change this equation. X is equal to A sine. You should not confuse with what is in the NCRT. So NCRT we are used this way. So when you learn, you can learn this equation because this is more easy for us. X0 You have to remember x0 means what. So here A means amplitude. From the equation itself, you will identify x is the displacement. So displacement represent a sine wave function A sine omega t plus phi, where A is the amplitude, omega t is the theta angular displacement, and phi is the phase difference, that is 2 pi by t.
Ma'am,
Yes,
can you say again x is equal to a sine?
A sine omega t plus phi. A sine omega t plus phi. You know how to write now phi? Put O and cut. So it
Yes, ma'am.
becomes phi. So we will learn in terms of A sine omega t. If you see in the slide x0, you should understand that is amplitude. Omega t is our theta and phi is the phase difference. So suppose it's 90 degree. So phi should be, the phase difference should be pi by 2. So that is the phase difference. Clear? So that is, so amplitude, A is the amplitude. So what is the feature of this sine theta? You can measure any oscillation which is at any point. Maybe particle may not oscillate at 0. Maybe when we give external force in the midway, so already it is reached up to something around 2 meter, it started oscillating. So that is the peculiar feature of a sine function. At any point, oscillation can start. The particles start vibrating. So it is depending upon the situations. And angular frequency, real time period equal to angular period. So whatever the time period, it is equal to in terms of 2 pi. In terms of 2 pi. 2 pi or pi by 2, 3 pi, 5 pi. It goes on like that. Clear? So that is the feature of oscillating system. So we are only just beginning. Now, this is also representing the same thing. First one we represent in terms of sine omega t. Another one it starts cos omega t. If the oscillations begin at the equilibrium point where displacement is 0, then x is equal to x0 sine omega t. That means A. So if the oscillation begin at the equilibrium point where displacement is 0, then displacement x we can represent A sine omega t. And at what time it will become cos omega t if there's a change in pi by 2, correct? So if the oscillation begin at the end point where displacement is a maximum at the start. So that means one oscillation fully completed. Then that time the function x can become cos omega t. So it's just for your knowledge. Okay, don't go too much detail. So beginning, we are oscillation starting this point. Then it becomes sine omega t, and oscillation begins at the end point where displacement is maximum at the start. That means from here, just imagine from here, if it is another oscillation starting. Suppose two oscillations are simultaneously moving. We can identify the difference between first one and second one. Okay, now we are coming to first type of oscillation, simple harmonic motion. So our study basically on this simple harmonic motion. Okay, so these are the some terms I told you. Now our main study will be concentrated on simple harmonic motion. So what do you mean by simple harmonic motion? It is the motion of a simple harmonic oscillator that is neither driven nor damped. That means not forced, neither forced oscillation or damped oscillation. That is the meaning of the word. Neither driven nor damped. Driven means someone is making that thing to oscillate. Damped means after oscillation, it will be gradually decreasing. So simple harmonic motion will happen only ideal world. You know thermodynamics, ideal world. Ideal world means once an simple pendulum starts oscillating, it will continue till the end of the universe. That type of motion is known as simple harmonic motion. So it will not be affected by any external forces. See, forced oscillation I told you, it is we are pushing a spring, then spring continue. Damped oscillation, what happened? You give one push and spring started moving, and afterwards you stopped pushing, but slowly the spring will stop because of the frictional force between the air and the spring. Similarly, a pendulum, first you release it. After some time, you see the pendulum stops. Why? You are not doing anything. You only initially you give a push. Then simple pendulum starts oscillating. After some time, you see simple pendulum becomes slowed down and then it stops and it becomes damped. That happened due to what? Due to resistive forces which is present in the atmosphere. So it is air. So air is trying to stop the motion of the pendulum. So that is why in practical world oscillation is damped. Practical world oscillation is damped. It cannot be simple harmonic. But computer, TV, laptop, mobile, and all type of artificial electronic gadgets, artificially we make it possible of simple harmonic motion, because you know laptop is fully covered. All the components in the laptop is inside the laptop, so there is no chances of air is preventing the motion or gravitational force is preventing it, because all the components and everything is inside the laptop. All that is because laptop also it is alternating current, it is oscillation. Yeah, it's a signal. Digital signal is a form of a electrical signals. So artificially you are creating a system. Mobile, artificially you are creating a system. So that is why you are able to listen someone talk from America, you will able to talk to that person very well, because there is a system. Artificially we made it simple harmonic. Okay, so but in practical world, you know, simple pendulum, pendulum of the clock. So if the battery stops, sometimes pendulum of the clock stops by itself. Our old clock, no, old clock, there is no battery and all. Only you put the key, you wind up the spring. You remember all the time is and all. When you want to sleep, you have to turn a key. That key is winding the spring inside. So when that time comes, the spring is fully started, released, and the sound is produced. So ordinary clock also, you are winding that spring in the system, and after some it become loose, the clock itself will stop. And all the time my daddy will say, clock chattu hoyi nu parayum. We will say clock chattu hoyi, alle time piece chattu hoyi nu parayum. Nowadays we don't say. Our old people now, all grandmas and grandfathers, അത് പോയി നോക്കടാ the clock ചത്തു പോയി എന്ന് പറയും. What is this? Actually, pendulum stops moving. So once the pendulum stops moving, clock will not show the time. Yeah. Now it is everything is digital. Everything is battery. As long as battery is giving energy, computer works. I mean, so laptop works, mobile works, timepiece works, everything. So that's a part of it. Okay. Yes. So that is about simple harmonic motion. I hope you got an idea. It is a, in practical world, you have to make artificially. In ideal world, a pendulum, if start oscillating, it will continue, stop till the end of the universe. That's it. Okay. So this motion, what is the another peculiar feature of simple harmonic motion? It is periodic and sinusoidal with constant amplitude. That's I told you, constant amplitude. The acceleration of a body executing simple harmonic motion is directly proportional to displacement of the body. That is another important thing. You have to learn this slide very well. So all these points of this slide you have to learn it, because very important to understand the peculiar feature of our this thing. That's with the constant amplitude, the acceleration of a simple harmonic motion is directly proportional to displacement of the body from the equilibrium position. And what is another important point? It is always directed towards the equilibrium position with a constant amplitude. That means amplitude is same, maximum displacement, acceleration of a body executing simple harmonic motion. So acceleration is directly proportional to x. That's the meaning of. So acceleration is directly proportional to displacement of the body in simple harmonic motion, and it is always directed towards the equilibrium position. That is the reason if the simple pendulum is here, it started moving due to external forces, but it is pulled, Newton's third law. It is pulled back to the minimum position. Every action equal and opposite reaction. Why the simple pendulum returned back? Because of it is the force which is acting is directed towards the equilibrium position. Again, there is an external force pulling it back upward, but still it come back to the original position. Clear? So with the constant amplitude, acceleration of a body executing simple harmonic motion is directly proportional to displacement of the body. That is A directly proportional to x. And this is the same thing. It is the same thing in the case of a circular motion also. Yeah, always it is directed towards the center. Here the point is equilibrium position, but here it is, we call it that equilibrium position as center of the circle. Center of the circle. So earth, sun, everyone is protecting because of force is directing towards the center, and in the case of a simple pendulum and spring, it is directing towards the equilibrium position. Both are same, but explanation differ according to the situation. That is conservation law of energy. I hope you completed writing this. And another feature of simple harmonic motion, when the system is displaced, first one, when the system is displaced from equilibrium, there must exist a restoring force that tends to restore to equilibrium. This is what I told in a single way, Newton's third law. So whenever the pendulum start moving to extreme position, there is another force trying to pull it back towards equilibrium. So any system undergoes simple harmonic motion exhibits two key features. When the system is displaced from equilibrium, there must exist a restoring force that tends to restore to equilibrium, tends to pull it. Restore means pull it to the equilibrium. And that force also directly proportional to the displacement. That force also directly proportional to the displacement. So you can write down That is F is equal to F directly proportional to displacement x. So acceleration directly proportional because of force is directly proportional. That is the reason. Acceleration is directly proportional because force also directly proportional. So what is, which law it is? Anyone remember which law indicating a connection between force and acceleration? Newton's. Which law? Anyone remember Newton's first law, second law, third law? I know that because every chapter I am repeating that one, making it to say that that is
Second.
second law. Correct. It is the second law. So understood. So Newton's three laws of motion means not only for straight line motion, any type of motion in the universe. So acceleration is directly proportional. The reason is force is directly proportional. And when you apply the force only, all these changes taking place. So that is why how they are related. Okay, that's it. So now we will learn for simple harmonic motion example. Mainly in your textbook, you have to learn simple harmonic motion of spring, circular motion, and the simple pendulum. These are the three examples. Three examples how it is exhibiting. Clear? So just first example, you can see a spring. A spring is suspended. Suspended means its one end is connected to a wall, and other end you can see this one actually is a load. Okay, and this load is pulling the spring and keeping into. Yeah, so this is, let us consider this is the initial position means equilibrium position. So the total length of the spring is up to here. Total length of the spring is up to this initial point. Now you can see here one block, here is another block. This is actually, they are showing you first this one spring is compressed. When the spring is compressed, the new position of the block is this. Okay, and after compressing we release the spring, then it come back to its equilibrium position 0 here. Now you stretch the string. When you stretch the string, it is coming back to positive amplitude. So forward motion we take it as positive amplitude, and backward motion, so expansion of the spring is forward motion and compression of the spring is backward motion. So when you pull the spring, spring started oscillating like this, correct? It's going on, going up or down, it will oscillate like this. Okay, just now I have marked the ink mark, it started oscillating. Okay, so that is how simple harmonic motion executed by the spring. It is in your textbook. You can just write example of simple harmonic motion, and you can write mass on a spring. You can write mass on a spring. Mass on a spring. Okay. So next what we have to learn. Yeah. So next what happens in the spring that we will study in 4 o'clock class. Okay. So just write example of simple harmonic motion, that is spring. So first we learn spring, then go to circular motion, and then last to pendulum. Okay. So I am winding up the
Ma'am,
session. Yes.
ma'am,
Mm.
like till 4:25 something we have maths class, ma'am.
Is that sir has put the new timetable? But sir has written 4 to 5 physics and physics. Hmm? Who told you you have maths class? Actually, who told you? Because